Hi, it's Emma Bigling with TYT Politics. I'm here with the brilliant Mark Ruffalo, the Oscar-nominated actor and activist, obviously, been super involved in the climate change fight and in the DAPL protests. You guys were talking about hope in there, and there's a lot of reason to not be hopeful with this current administration, but when I was there, I felt the hope. There was hope in that room. What makes you so hopeful, and what makes all the Native people and all the protectors so hopeful?
I just see this as an enormous opportunity. In my life, any time that I've had to struggle, I've been given a great gift somewhere along the way, and real struggle, violence, sickness, and what I'm seeing happening is more and more people getting involved, and this has been a huge wake-up call, and people are becoming more conscious. They're seeing the effects of things like climate change happening really in their lives. We have the internet now, which is literally a mirror to humanity. We literally get to see who we are for the first time in human history, where the image of ourself is not being filtered through a centralized media system. And yeah, it has its problems, and yes, we do get misinformation, but for the most part, good information makes its way to the top. Video doesn't lie. And because we're getting to see who we are, we get to make a conscious decision about who we're going to be going forward. And we're in this wonderful moment, and I want to thank the fossil fuel industry for giving us 200 years of concentrated carbon and the industrial revolution and the technological revolution. Thank you. Because now we're here at the moment where we have this technology that we could leave the fossil fuel paradigm of extraction behind, and we can move into a cleaner, brighter, more abundant future that isn't violent, that we don't have to send troops across the seas to fight trillion-dollar wars, that we don't spend our money on fuel that's constant, that once we put a solar panel up, we keep generating energy, and that money comes into our communities, which means we can put it in schools and public works and art. We are on the precipice of what could be the golden age of humanity. And we're going to go. Whether we go kicking and screaming or we go gracefully, by God, we're going. And people care about people. I really believe in people. And I believe that things like water, things like graveyards and sacred places, we understand those things as a people. When we talk directly from person to person, we understand those. There's not one person out there who wouldn't be aggrieved if someone poisoned their well or someone kicked over their grandfather's gravestone, And it's reminding ourselves of our common humanity. We're way more connected than the politicians or governments want us to believe. And for all those reasons, I think we're in this wonderful place of transition. And yes, it's bumpy. And yes, it's difficult. And yes, there's people who don't want to see these transitions happen. Not because they're bad people necessarily, but because they're afraid.
Well, you talk about people that are stuck in their old ways. You mentioned the media, and when I was watching the CNN election coverage, it was sponsored by Vote for Energy, which is the American Petroleum Institute initiative, which is ridiculous, Orwellian turn of phrase. But they seem to be dinosaurs. That old media source is what you're talking about. No one's watching cable news anymore. Everyone's getting their news online. The Petroleum Institute and all of these fracking, it seems to be their last hurrah, their last breath. Can you talk about you and your role as someone, a media personality or as an actor, someone who is in the public eye, as being a new voice to this new media, as bringing your own perspective online and kind of being honest as opposed to the corporate media, which just seems to be pushing one narrative down our throats?
Well, I see we're living in this distributed era. We're leaving what was the centralized system. Everything was centralized system, which meant that people got their information about other people through a centralized system, which means that system got to narrate or change or edit the story that we were getting. That's an easy way to make people, otherize people, make people an enemy, demonize them, and so on and so forth. In that distributed system, we don't have to have one person leading. We can have a lot of credible voices. The more voices that we have, the better. Because yes, it's important for an actor or a celebrity to go out and move out. But what I find has been the best value for me is to have the spotlight that follows me around occasionally on me long enough to pull someone in who we really need to hear from and give them that spotlight. That's probably the best thing that I could possibly do as a celebrity, you know? And don't take it from me, you know? Yes, I was there. I went to Standing Rock. I had my experience. I was deeply moved. I believe in what they're fighting for, right? But don't take it from me. Take it from Takada Iron Eyes. Take it from Chase Iron Eyes. Take it from Cody Two Bears. Take it from Bobby Jean Two Legs. I mean, we get to go directly to the source. And once we hear from people and we hear their stories, we immediately relate to them and they have credibility. And that's what we need more of. Not more celebrities out there, not more personalities, not more talking heads, but we need the stories directly from people, and that's what we're getting, you know?
Well, if only the media would be giving them a voice. Can you just plug Defund Apple really quickly? That's the last thing I'll ask of you.
Yes. So one of the big movements that's happening right now to stop this pipeline is to defund. Take your money out of the banks that are committing crimes against people. Shooting people with rubber bullets, beating them, macing them, tear gassing them, blowing their arms half off with concussion grenades, spraying them with water in sub-freezing weather. That's what your bank is doing. Citibank is doing that. They're funding that. Okay? Wells Fargo is funding that.
TD, right?
Yeah. Chase, all of these banks are funding that. And so today, tomorrow, you can go and take your money out of those banks. There's great credit unions, there's great smaller banks, there's banks owned by people of color that are beautiful banks, fair banks, that you get just as much value from, if not more, and clean up your life in every aspect. So defund DAPLA, defund, DAPL.org. And we'll tell you how to do it.
You heard it here, folks. Thanks so much. Yeah.